So I want to ask you a question. Are you doing what you want to be doing in your life right now? Do you feel like you need a reset, or you're in the middle of one that perhaps you didn't even choose for yourself? That's what this new segment is about, the reset. And our first conversation takes us to Cleveland's iconic Caramoo House Theater to speak with someone who learned how to pivot from politics to his passion for acting.
You may have seen Clevelander Peter Lawson Jones most recently starring beside Tom Hanks in the movie Otto, which makes a lot of people think what a storied life he must have. But Peter's learned how to reinvent his life several times over, from actor to student to politician and back to actor. He told me there's one quote in particular that pushed him through those transitions.
I think it's very powerful and unfortunately expresses succinctly much of the human condition, that most men live lives of quiet desperation. They're unhappy, unfulfilled. Their life doesn't offer psychic, mental, emotional rewards. They feel rather empty, oftentimes because they're not pursuing their natural gifts. They're not pursuing their passions. They're not excited about their 9 to 5.
He says identifying and moving toward who you want to be is a challenge because we all have practical considerations on our plate. We have to put food on the table, pay bills, take care of family. So often what we want for ourselves gets buried. Peter knows how that feels, and he knows how important it is to spot an opportunity, especially an unexpected one.
I didn't act for almost 3 decades.
He hadn't been on stage, but he'd been writing. In the early 2000s, as Cuyahoga County Commissioner, he joined the Caramoo Board.
I had written a play in college. It was the first of the 3 plays that I've written. And they had a staged reading series every spring. And so I asked the then executive director at Caramoo whether or not she would consider putting my play in that stage reading series. And she said, sure. And the play drew a good response, so they ended up giving it a full production right here at the Caramoo main stage.
That single, seemingly innocent connection became the impetus for his next reset, when he was asked to do a stage reading, which led to an audition.
I was still a county commissioner. I did my first play in almost 30 years. I had to prepare a soliloquy, and I practiced that, rehearsed that, and that was my monologues. And then there were opportunities that presented themselves. So I followed the advice that I give young people who come to me who want to know how to succeed in virtually everything. That is to network hard and then work even harder. So I began to network, and I took it very seriously.
And so Peter's stage and screen success took flight. In recent years, he's appeared in Chicago Fire and Judas and the Black Messiah, but he says doing what he loves isn't without challenges.
It's interesting. I find that what I'm doing now is harder than anything I ever have done. Your belief in yourself and in your own talents and in a higher power is absolutely essential. And that's why the quality of resilience is important in whatever you do, because you're going to get told no. The only people who never get told no are those who don't aspire to do much of anything. And that's the other thing I think that helps you, is you realize that we all fail at something at some point. There's one other thing. So many people have quit just before the gravy train arrived. And I never wanted to be one of those people.
Who does? I mean, we're going to be sharing my extended conversation with Peter on WKYC Plus, by the way. He had some really fascinating things to say about parenthood. And I thought about it not just from the position of who we are, you know, as parents, and what we can do as parents for our kids, but it still spoke also to the kid in me and you know, what we take with us. So he just spoke on so many things and had some great one-liners that just make you go, ooh.
Never would have thought of it.
Yeah, WKYC Plus.
Fascinating guy. I tell him all the time, it was nice of him to let Tom Hanks be in that movie.
Exactly. He's such a star.
Yeah.
He really is. Christy, good story.
Yeah, good stuff.
WKYC Plus for more, definitely.